In the granite hills of modern Zimbabwe stand the ruins of a city built almost 1,000 years ago. Walls of stacked stone, some over 30 feet tall, curving for hundreds of feet without a single drop of mortar holding them together. For nearly a century after Europeans first documented it, the official position of the colonial government was that Africans could not possibly have built it. This is Archive of the Ancients, and today we're looking at Great Zimbabwe, one of the largest stone structures ever built in pre-colonial sub-Saharan Africa, and the deliberate, decades-long campaign to erase who actually built it. Great Zimbabwe rose to prominence around the 11th century, built by ancestors of the Shona people, who still live in the region today. At its height in the 1300s and 1400s, it was the capital of a kingdom that may have housed up to 18,000 people, making it one of the largest cities in the world at that time. The scale of the construction is what still stuns engineers today. The great enclosure's outer wall stretches over 800 feet in circumference, built entirely from granite blocks, shaped and stacked with such precision that the structure has survived nearly 1,000 years of rain, heat, and earthquakes without collapsing. And this wasn't an isolated settlement. Archaeologists have recovered Persian pottery, Chinese Celadon ceramics, and glass beads from India at the site. Physical proof that Great Zimbabwe sat at the center of a gold and ivory trade network stretching across the Indian Ocean, connecting the African interior to Kilwa, Persia, and ultimately as far as Ming Dynasty China. So how did a city this significant get erased from the story Europeans told about Africa?
When European explorers and colonial officials began investigating the ruins seriously in the late 1800s, many refused to accept a Shona origin. Not because the evidence was unclear, but because it contradicted the racial hierarchy colonial rule was built on. Instead, they promoted theories tying the site to the Queen of Sheba, King Solomon, or wandering Phoenicians, anyone but the indigenous population living around it. This wasn't just an academic mistake. Cecil Rhodes' British South Africa Company actively funded amateur excavations designed to find evidence of a non-African builder, while looters destroyed archaeological layers searching for gold. When the colony of Southern Rhodesia was later named directly after these ruins, officials still promoted the myth of a lost foreign civilization in school textbooks and museum displays for decades. It took rigorous archaeological work, especially studies led by researchers like Gertrude Caton Thompson in the 1920s, to establish clearly what the evidence had shown all along. The pottery, the architectural style, the ironworking, and the radiocarbon dates all pointed to an African-built, Shona-origin city with no foreign architects required. Her 1931 conclusion was accurate and largely ignored by the colonial government for another 50 years. Great Zimbabwe's true history wasn't formally embraced by the state until Southern Rhodesia became independent Zimbabwe in 1980. The new nation named itself directly after the ruins and adopted the carved soapstone Zimbabwe bird found at the site as a national symbol, reclaiming a heritage that had been denied for a century. What actually happened to the city's population after its 15th century decline is still debated. Some researchers point to overgrazing and resource depletion, others to shifting trade routes as gold markets moved elsewhere. But unlike so many mysteries on this channel, the biggest mystery about Great Zimbabwe was never really who built it. That answer was always right there in the stone. The mystery is how long the world was told otherwise. So, should more places named after their own erased history do what Zimbabwe did? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more stories of civilizations rewritten by the people who conquered them, subscribe to Archive of the Ancients.